Welcome to Salesology, conversations with sales leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. When you're ready to transform your sales for today's transforming market, we've got you covered with your host, the queen of cold calling and founder of Salesology, award-winning author, speaker, sales trainer, and coach, Wendy Weiss.
Hi, welcome to Salesology, conversations with sales leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. And I'm your host, Wendy Weiss. I am the founder of Salesology and the Salesology Prospecting Method. And I'm also known as the queen of cold calling. We have a very special guest here today. I am so excited to introduce Liam Austin. And Liam is the co-founder of Entrepreneurs HQ. He's a virtual event strategist, and he has launched over 15 virtual summits, dozens of quick workshops, and many, many more online events. He has hosted over 400 speakers, and this is really amazing, while educating over 100,000 business owners through his programs. Virtual Events That Sell is his 6-week implementation program, which makes it really easy for you to create your own high-impact virtual events from workshops and masterminds to summits and conferences with the end goal of selling more. Liam is the creator of the $1 Million Virtual Summit program, where he partners with select clients to generate 7 figures. Very impressive. I'm going to hold Liam's feet to the fire to find out more. Welcome, Liam.
Wendy, yeah, great. Thanks for having me on. And I'm excited to dive into some of those topics today.
Yeah. So let's begin at the beginning. How did you get to where you are today? What's the inside story?
Yeah, through a lot of trial and tribulation, a lot of testing and tweaking. But my partner and I, Sarah, started the business in 2015, Entrepreneurs HQ, starting off with a global conference online. It was a virtual summit, all about LinkedIn, how to actually prospect on LinkedIn, how to find new prospects, generate more leads, and get sales from that platform. And we had 15,000 people show up to that event, register. We collected leads, added to our database, 15,000 people. And from there, we've just been running virtual events ever since. And you mentioned a few there. It's typically, the summits, workshops, seminars, challenges, boot camps, anything that will help you sell more and sell more easily. So we're building your authority, we're generating more leads. They see you as the expert. It's going to be a lot more easier to get that prospect over the line.
So before we dive into all of that, I do have to ask you, because I read in your LinkedIn profile that you used to be a professional soccer player. And I am curious because you may or may not know this, Liam. My first career was I danced in a ballet company. And I believe everything I know in life and business I learned in ballet class. So I am wondering what being a professional soccer player taught you about business.
Yeah, I think it's like the regular stuff, the perseverance. You work hard, you get the results. Studying the game, like watching back replays of, how you played, positioning, strategy, actually execution, and thinking of, well, how can we transfer that to business? Well, if we're running a sales team or we're doing sales calls, well, are we watching our calls back? Are we reviewing them? Are we role playing those things where we feel like we could have done better? So that's typically what I see. And then also just knowing when I was growing up as a kid before I turned professional, I had multiple coaches. So I had my school team coach who was giving me direction and had me playing a certain position and a certain strategy for the team. And then I had my regional coach as well as my representative team coach. So there was 3 teams, 3 coaches who had their own philosophies and had me playing different methods or systems to try to get the most out of me. And so having those 3 different coaches giving me direction, I think really helped me progress faster. And I've taken that also into the business world, just knowing that, hey, you can't just have maybe one coach or one mentor. Having just multiple people giving you the right directions who are experts in their field, right? So if I'm a striker in the soccer team, I want to be coached by the striker trainer versus the goalkeeper or the defensive trainer, right? So getting specialized trainers coming in and I think supporting you on what you need, what you currently need specifically for your business, someone who's been there before, done it, and successfully helped other people just like you. I think thinking about that just really just accelerates your success and time to result.
Yeah, I love what you just said, because when I was dancing, we always did that post-performance review. You have the performance, and then you go into rehearsal the next day, and the rehearsal director sits you down and lists every single thing you did wrong the night before that you have to fix for that evening. And I think the salespeople don't always do that. Something doesn't work out, the prospect says no. Well, what could I do differently next time? And then also having those experts to work with. Nobody knows everything, and having that independent voice that to help you along makes a huge difference.
100%.
Yeah. So, what is the difference? I mean, you listed a lot of things: workshops, summits. You do a lot of different things, masterminds, virtual events. What's the difference between all of these different things, and why is it important for businesses to think about using some virtual events?
Yeah, sure. So I think it's been an interesting period, right, over 2020, 2021, where in-person events weren't really a possibility in some locations around the world, and people had to move their in-person events online. And we're seeing that those results kind of coming through, the impact of those results, that people are like, if you're an owner of business, you're running a virtual event, obviously there's lower setup costs to get started. So you can try and test new methods or approaches or events versus the in-person. There's a lot of upfront costs to make that happen. So the flexibility there. And then also, like, if you're targeting an international audience, you can really target internationally with the virtual online events versus the in-person. It's still, not really easy to travel. There's some airline flights, at least, like I'm living in Europe and definitely from Australia. All the flight paths haven't all opened up yet. Definitely, like, the accommodation pricing has certainly increased too. So there's a lot of those factors to factor in. So when we started our business, Entrepreneurs HQ, like we started with virtual events, which was multi-day, multi-speaker events. Like, we're trying to have a really big impact, generate a lot of leads, right? 15,000 from our first event. We want to build authority so we get seen as the expert, and we're inviting experts to speak at our event, which because we're the host of this event, we're elevating our own authority in line with some of these experts that we're inviting on. So this is something super powerful that I love about virtual events. It really allows you to launch a business from scratch, or just really light the fire and catapult your business really quickly in just really 10 to 12 weeks. Process from ideation of the event through to actually completion of the event. We've got all these, say you've got a few thousand people who have come through and they're now seeing you as the authority, they see you as the expert, they want to take their next step with you. Your sales team, their calendars are full, and you're turning these people into clients. That works really well. And at the other end of that, you've got workshops. These things can be set up in just 1 week versus the summit, which is 10 to 12 weeks. So it's just 1 week, and all you need is yourself, the expert, the teacher, showcasing one quick win, showing your participants, your attendees, how to get a specific result. And if you can get them that result in just 90 minutes, by the end of that workshop, they'll be asking you, all right, well, you're able to achieve that result for me in just 90 minutes. I want to spend more time with you, right? So Like, how can we spend 90 days or 9 months together? Imagine what we could achieve together in that time. And that's what we want our clients ultimately to be thinking, or potential clients, that this person is the right choice. I know for a fact they can get me a result, versus, well, they've got results for that person over there, but would it work for me? So workshops work really well to actually just showcase your ability to get results for people and easily turn people into clients in just 7 days, versus, again, the summit, which is 10 to 12 weeks. And then you've got these other events in between that can be a combination of multi-day or just, couple of hours, through to you being the only teacher versus inviting multiple different teachers or speakers to your event.
Okay. And I know that you have a gift for our listeners that I'll ask you in more detail about later on, but a gift to help them do those workshops. But what I would like to ask you is about this concept of building authority. What exactly does that mean, and how exactly does that work?
Right. Well, everyone here has heard about like the know, like, and trust factor, right? If you can get someone to know you, like you, and trust you, it's going to be easier for you to get them to take that next step with you. If they also see you as that go-to expert, like you are the number one choice I want to work with, that I need help from, that's going to solve my problem or get me that solution, get me that desired result, then you're the number one choice. You can charge a premium, right? Or you don't have to work so hard on the sales call, because it's a matter of just showcasing them exactly how you can support them and what they need, and delivering that to them on the call, and enrolling them into that program. So the authoritative positioning just allows you to charge more, increase your profit margins, and increase your conversion rates, because now you're not having someone come to you that just doesn't know you or sees these other 5, 10, 20 people as more authoritative than you. Well, why would they be picking you off someone else, right? You need to really work hard to get that sale over the line. And we don't want to do that. We want sales to be easy for ourselves, for our sales team. All right, we'll make everyone happy because we're attracting the right people who really want to work with us.
It's very interesting that you said that, because one of the things that I noticed, I think virtual events, building authority, are the new book writing. When I launched my business back in 2000, my first book, I launched it with a book called Calling for Women. And one of the things that I noticed when I was writing the book, it wasn't even published yet. If I told people that I was writing a book, all of a sudden I became like a bigger expert than I was before. And I didn't even have the book yet. And so it really, this idea of just being visible in some way is really powerful. And the way we do it today is online.
That's right. And I think, like, when I look at authors, speakers, teachers, like people who want to be seen as that go-to expert in their market, in their niche, there are various ways to do this. But there's different levels of connection, I think, with people, and to get that know, like, and trust factor, to be seen as the authority. There's live video right at the very top of the pyramid, let's say. Well, actually, even on top of that, you're meeting in person. You've actually shook their hand. You're meeting for a coffee and you close the deal, shaking their hand. That trust factor is super high. And the connection is super high. Down from that, you've got live video. So you're interacting with the person live. You're able to answer any questions or objections they have. The next is video. Below that is audio. And then next really comes text. Audio just being, you can be in their ear, like inside their head, your voice, they're hearing you. So when they maybe get on the phone to start working with you, they've heard this voice before. There's familiarity there. There's trust there, right? That's been built up over time. Text, it's not so easy to replicate when you're trying to close a deal, like in person or over the phone, right? So I think if we're moving it from books to audio to video to live video to in person, ultimately those levels of trust, authority do change with the prospect, and that does impact our conversions as well.
There was actually, I love that you're talking about this. There was a study that was done it was 2015 at the University of Chicago Booth School of Business. And they tested written communication, like texting, like emails, like a letter. They tested that against spoken communication, which could be in person, or it could be on the telephone. It could even be a voicemail or an audio. And what they found was that people actually hear you. They think you're smarter, and they're much more likely to take action on whatever it is you're talking about. And so that's the power of doing video, doing a live event online, or doing a podcast like this that's audio. People can hear us talk.
I love that. And I'd love to know the numbers on this. So if anyone's listening to this and knows some numbers on this, like, do share it in the comments somewhere. But I think as well, just like once you are creating, like, say you do live video for the very first time, or even if you're presenting in person, you're presenting on stage, you're recording the video live and you're streaming it out to YouTube or into a private members area where people are paying for it. But then you've got the recorded video, and that recorded video, we can then slice it up into, we say, like, a year's worth of social media promotions and content for your blog and your emails, right? Like, if you run a summit, and that typically, if we're looking at a summit, we say 3 to 5 days, 30 speakers or so. You've got a year's worth of social media content, blog posts, and email content. So it just means that you can turn that video into audio, and we can promote that and sell that and repackage that. Text, we can make blog posts, we can make emails, we can create content for social media, images, quotes, right? There's so much that can come out of that that video content that we can create. Whereas if we're starting at just, say, text, it's a lot more difficult or not as engaging to move that text up into video.
Well, I love what you're saying about repurposing. Like, let's make life easier.
Absolutely. Like, we try to repurpose everything. So we talk about these virtual events, right? And you, Wendy, you spoke at one of our virtual events in 2017. So we're going back, like, what's that, 6 or so years now. But we've run, as you mentioned, like, plenty of these summits, plenty of these workshops, boot camp seminars, and we've turned a lot of them evergreen. And what does that mean? It means that they're accessible on demand at any time for people to access. So that if we teach a workshop on sales, maybe there's a specific tactic, or maybe it's a certain script, or it's an objection handling workshop, like, we can use that workshop. We teach it live, we sell tickets to it, we make some money from that workshop itself, but then it's still relevant a week, a month, a year, a decade, maybe into the future, right? So we can keep selling this every single day into the future. And that's exactly what we've done with our past events. We've run them live, we've got the recorded video, we repackage them, and now we sell them and promote them every single day. So we're generating leads and sales for our low ticket offers. So our digital products, we're selling them at maybe $50, $100, or a few $100s. They're people who are buying that, they're qualified leads. They're booking appointments for our sales team, and they're turning into higher priced paying clients, which is ultimately, what you'd like to do. I mean, we've been seeing this in our business now for a few years, and we're helping our clients do this. And it just seems to work really well, because you don't have to be, people think of events, it's like, oh, I have to show up for events and I have to show up live. And that's not necessarily the case. You can teach something really well once and you can sell it forever. And, going back to the book analogy, like, yeah, you write a book once, doesn't mean you have to go and write the next book to make more money. No, you keep selling that book forever. Right? And there's plenty of books. I mean, you think of the Bible. I don't know how many copies that's sold over the centuries, but if you write content good enough, or you create good enough workshop or events that can be evergreen and relevant into the future, we can monetize that and leverage that forever.
I love it. So we're going to switch gears in a minute, Liam, because I was reading on your website, you had an article about the unique selling proposition. So I want to ask you about that. But before I do, we're going to pause for a word from our sponsor. And our sponsor today is Salesology 3X Appointments. You know how frustrating and stressful it is when you leave every sales meeting wondering if your sales team knows how to sell because they're not selling and all you ever hear from them are excuses. They blame your marketing. They say you need to do social media. And they say you need a new website. You know something's wrong, but you don't quite know what it is, and you're even starting to wonder if it's you. You don't have a lot of options. You could fire them all and start from scratch, and that would be expensive. And you're really sick of waking up in the middle of the night wondering how to fix this. Well, imagine instead that you have an easy-to-use, replicable system that ensures that your team can easily schedule qualified appointments. And imagine that your team is excited and motivated, no more excuses, and you feel good. Salesology 3X Appointments can make that happen. If you're a business owner or a sales manager with an underperforming sales team, let's talk. Click on the link to my calendar in the show notes and schedule a time. I look forward to meeting you. And we are back with Liam Austin. He is the co-founder of Entrepreneurs HQ. And I want to ask you, Liam, because I'm poking around your website and I saw this great article on the unique selling proposition. So what's your definition of a unique selling proposition and why does it matter anyways?
Yeah, and unique selling proposition allows you to stand out from your competitors. What is it that makes you unique that allows you to sell more of your products and services? That would be, I think, my definition. And I love the approach that I think I take with our clients is that you're thinking about a workshop or a summit or an event and you search online and you know what? That topic's already been done. That's okay. Why? Because that was hosted by someone else, someone who had a different direction that they wanted to take it. Perhaps they brought in different speakers than you're going to invite. So what you can look at is you can look at the length of their event. Maybe it was a 1-day event. You can do a 3-day event, or you can do a shorter 90-minute event. So already it's original, it's unique. You can have different speakers. Perhaps you can get the top authoritative experts in the world to your event versus they maybe had some generalized people, right? So there's different ways that we can come to market and make ourselves unique by being ourselves, as well as just making sure we're serving our clients and our audience, understanding the features and benefits that they're looking for as well.
Yeah, and if you have a topic in mind and you Google the topic and you see there are other summits on that topic, doesn't that also mean that that's a topic that a lot of people are interested in?
Exactly. It's the same as like writing a book. Like, oh, that topic's already been written, but no, you can come in with a different angle, a different approach, a different perspective about things to make you unique. And if someone's interested in that topic and they've enjoyed that event or that book, it's more likely they're going to want to turn up to more events like that or buy more of those types of books. So absolutely, it's confirmation that you're in the right place. And if you're not finding anything, then maybe you should be worried about, well, is it too unique? Is there any demand or interest in this topic at all?
Yeah, if you can't find it when you Google it, nobody's searching for it.
That's it.
So I'm curious, would you ever, if you had a topic and you Googled the topic and you saw, somebody else did a summit on this, would you reach out to them and try and develop a partnership of some sort, an affiliate partnership of some sort? Because they would certainly have an email list packed full of a bunch of people that are interested in that topic.
Definitely. That would be easy, wouldn't it? Right? Like someone's just hosting an event. They've got a few thousand people on their list that are interested in an event on this topic. And, you've got something that's complimentary. Like, wow, like that's some low hanging fruit, I think right there. And And I think that's powerful. And it's something that we've built our business on. Like you talked about us educating over 100,000 business owners. Like those 100,000 business owners we were able to generate in a space of 18 months, the first 18 months of our business. And they all came from referrals. And those referrals, right? They like, well, they don't necessarily know you, but there's a bit of trust because they've been referred by someone that they trust. So they're more open to the concept of what you're teaching or taking that next step or actually even listening and showing up. So you get better, show up rates, you get better conversion rates, more appointments, more sales. They spend more with you as well. So if you can look for partners in your industry that have a similar audience, that are doing similar things, you can find a way to work together, then a rising tide lifts all boats.
Absolutely. Sometimes people say, oh, this person is a competitor, therefore I'm not going to partner with them. And it's kind of like they think nobody's ever going to find this competitor because like Google and the internet doesn't exist anymore. So it's a secret. But it's not a secret. They're out there. So take advantage of all the hard work that somebody else has done on your topic and bring them on board.
Yeah, it's smart, right? They've done the event before. They've probably got some learnings, things that they made mistakes on that they wouldn't do again, that they can teach you. They can share with you. Well, what would I do differently this time? Look, this worked really well. Make sure you emphasize that. Like partner with them, like leverage them, share your expertise. You're in a similar market, similar industry. Like it's not just about, well, they've got my audience and we can support each other that way. But like there's knowledge, there's skills, there's maybe transfer of staff or team that we can be sharing resources. Like there's so many benefits of partnering with someone in your space versus seeing them as a competitor. I think there's different mindsets. People approach business differently or maybe even life differently. But I definitely like to gravitate towards the people who feel that they have an abundance mindset.
Absolutely. So I'm curious, has anything in the past couple of years, has doing virtual events, has it changed? I know there are more of them, but has anything really changed significantly in how it works in the past couple of years?
Gosh, where do you want me to start? I think that the general overview of this is that it's just growing. It's growing in leaps and bounds. It's getting stronger in every single way. Like we've been using Zoom since 2015 when we ran our very first event with 15,000 leads, right? And every single year it's gotten bigger and better and more powerful, more reliable. Like you just think about the audience, like 15,000 people were coming and some people didn't know how to necessarily use Zoom and experience it before. Now everyone, like every, mother, child and dog really knows how to use Zoom now. It's really integrated into our lifestyle. So that makes things a lot easier. We don't have to teach the tech or wonder what tech to use. Like it makes it very, very simple. And then you've got just the openness to attend more virtual events. Like, oh, well, no, we have to be doing this meeting or this event in person. No, you don't. You've tested it now. There's numbers that show that you can increase your conversion rate. You can impact more people if you run this thing online versus the in-person costs of setting this whole thing up as well. And you can only fit a few hundred people in the room. Like if I had done my very first event thinking, oh, I've got to hire out a stadium to fit 15,000 people in there. No chance. I didn't have the money to pay for that, right? So what happens if this explodes like this? The online environment is, they're talking about Web 3.0 now and how events are going to evolve into that space. And there's already events being held, in that space, in this virtual reality spaces, the metaverse that people are talking about. There's events already going on in there. Like, have you attended them before? Like, are you looking at these types of events? There's maybe not so many attendees, or people aware of how to access these events. So the mass adoption is still, using Zoom or just the Web 2.0 side of things. But yeah, it's growing. The momentum's growing. More people have access to online, internet, data makes it so much easier now. You can attend these events via your mobile phone, whereas before maybe it was too expensive. Like, yeah, how many, like, I just think if you're not leveraging online to reach your audience and your prospects, like through live workshops, live seminars, boot camps, and I'm saying live, but then it's recorded, right? And then it's repackaged and it's sold every single day. Like if you're not leveraging this, then you're missing out on a massive opportunity, an opportunity for someone who's, as you said before, they're Googling help on a subject, a problem, a pain that they have, or a solution they're trying to get to. And they're watching videos, they're attending workshops, they're looking at the seminars, and someone else is building up their expertise, their authority, and they're buying from these people versus you. So make sure, I think get out there and just start doing this, because it only takes one seminar or one workshop, putting it out there. Every person that comes through, if you design it right, and like that's what we work with our clients, making sure the journey is logical, that we're building up our know, like, and trust factor. We're getting them a result as quickly as possible so we can prove to them that we can get them results, because, hey, we've just delivered a result for you. It was quick, simple, and easy in just 90 minutes. Now let's talk about working together so we can get even bigger results for you, make an even bigger impact on your life and your business.
So I know you have a gift for our listeners about how to put together a workshop. And I'm gonna loan you our tagline: put together a workshop faster, more easily, and more profitably. So why don't you share with everyone the free gift that you have? And we're going to put the link to Liam's gift in the show notes. So make sure after you finish listening to this, go to the show notes and click on the link for your free gift. But tell us about it, Liam.
Yeah, it's a checklist to run one of these workshops for yourself in the next 7 days that will generate your clients in just 90 minutes. So 7 days to actually come up with the idea, to promote it, fill the room, get bums on seats, sell it, actually deliver the content. So deliver that workshop, and then book appointments in and get clients from that 90-minute session. So it's a checklist. Yes, it's a PDF, but we go into detail about each of the steps. So it's a multi-page PDF, and there's some video training there as well. And if you want to go even deeper, like we actually have a workshop on workshops that you can upgrade and pay for. I think it's like $50 or $100, something like that, to figure out how to, if you like, video training, the online course method, or do this workshop yourself so you can see how it's actually done. So you can do these things and you can profitably sell your own workshops for $50, $100, a few $100 each and every time you promote it, right? Because remember, we're doing it live, but then we're repackaging it and we can sell it every single day into the future. And perhaps maybe this is your very first digital product.
Well, I know for a fact I am going to click on that link and download the checklist. So all of our listeners, please make sure the link is in the show notes. So after you finish listening to this podcast, click on the link to download Liam Austin's free gift on how to do a virtual workshop and land clients in, what did you say, 90 days?
90 minutes.
90 minutes.
Even
90
quicker.
minutes, not even 90 days. 90 minutes. Faster, more easily, more profitable. So, Liam, this has been great. I'd like you to put your hand over your heart and promise me that you will come back so that we can talk again.
This has been really fun, and it won't be 6 years next time. We should do it sooner, because this was great.
Yeah, sooner than 6 years. That would be good. And we have been listening. I've been talking to Liam Austin, who is the co-founder of Entrepreneurs HQ. And make sure to check out the show notes for the link to Liam's gift. Scroll down, click on the link so you can download his free gift for you. And thank you for listening to Salesology Conversations with Sales Leaders. If you have found some value in this podcast and listening to this podcast, then think about one business owner or one sales professional, somebody that you think would also find value in this podcast, and think about them and share the link with them. So until we meet again, Visualize yourself surrounded by cash, really large bills.
You've been listening to Salesology, Conversations with Sales Leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. Be sure to follow so that you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, please leave a rating and review, and be sure to share it with your friends. Tune in every week for more exciting insights and wisdom on transforming sales. And until next time, visualize yourself surrounded by cash, very large bills.